All right, for this video packet, this is for lab session 10, which looks like this on the beginning. So, going over here, we're going to start with our half torso. Our features that we have to know is we have the tongue. The tongue muscle is here represented pink. It's pretty simple, straightforward. We all know what a tongue is. But just make sure you understand that this is the tongue on this model, because I could see that tripping someone up. You also see the teeth represented right through there. You see this white here. It's a little easier if we go this way. But you'll see there's white. That's just the teeth. Another simple one that you probably know already. Underneath the tongue, we have the sublingual gland. So that is this gland right here. You can see it in tan. Sublingual underneath the tongue. We have the parotid gland, which is going to be on this side. It's right on the cheek. You see this green sticker. That is the parotid, the parotid gland, depending on how your instructor pronounces it. And then underneath the jawbone, again, this is the jawbone, the mandible, we have our submandibular gland. So submandibular, sub meaning below, so underneath the mandible, and then sublingual on this side, lingual being the tongue. Anytime you see lingua means tongue, so it's a sublingual gland. Just beneath that, on your video or your image packet here, you're going to see a pretty simple diagram, I guess you could say. It's just a picture, shows tongue, epiglottis, esophagus, trachea, tonsil. And it's 2D, so I have nothing to show there. Flip it over. We start at the top. We have stomach. So our stomach model is right here. We have, so on the stomach, there are two curves because it's kind of a bean shape. So the smaller curve is the lesser curvature. So this small curve is the lesser curvature. And then the big curve wrapping all the way around is the greater curvature. Within the stomach itself, it has different regions. So the main region, which takes up most of this space, is the body. And then this top section, so essentially from our esophageal sphincter up to the top tip here, so here up, that is the fundus. So this region through here is the fundus. Through here is the body. Moving down to the next one, we look at it from the inside. So I referenced it already, but this is the esophageal sphincter. It's basically where the esophagus goes down the neck, down the body to the stomach. And this sphincter is kind of what closes and opens the stomach. So that is the esophageal sphincter. Another region, which is pretty distinct of the stomach, is once you leave the body, you'll see there is a little bump right here. And then once you cross over that bump, this section through here is the pylorus. The pylorus then goes on to the duodenum of the intestines. We also have featured the rugae, which are the textured bumps through here. So there's lots of them. Again, it just adds surface area so that you have all this surface area, but it's also kind of clumped in, sort of like how the brain is folded up. That is right here. We have next the cardiac region. I personally feel the cardiac region is probably mismarked. So let's see here. It is like this. The cardiac region is this first area once you get through the esophageal sphincter. So it's through the sphincter and then just this first little tiny area. It's a very small wedge between the fundus and the body, which are much larger, but the cardiac region would be right here. Okay. Now you also have on this picture the bladder. I believe we could look at that. Let me go find that real quick. That model is here. Wasn't sure if it was in here. But if we look down here, this is the bladder that it's referring to. So you can kind of see where the bladder sits within the body. So if this is our whole torso, the bladder is down here. Kidneys, which we'll talk about in a minute, are there. So you kind of see how different things are oriented to one another. Okay, next page. We have the pancreas at the top. So the pancreas we have right here. Looks like this. Okay. Okay, so first off, we have the common bile duct. So this green tube going through here is the common bile duct. Just beneath it, going across, we have the accessory pancreatic duct. So it's this little green tube going across here. And then what that green tube comes off of is the main pancreatic duct right here. So if you see this little black dot, that's the accessory, the number for the accessory. And this black dot, this 8, is the main pancreatic duct. We also have 3 sections to the pancreas. So the head is right here. The body is all of this, and the tail is over here. So again, if you were to see it from the other side, same thing, but looking at it from a different angle, we have the head, the body, and then the tail is down here. Next, you'll see this this model picture here. I don't have this model with me, unfortunately. I think it might be in the basement. I don't have a key to the basement right now. But we have the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum, which are 3 sections of the small intestine. Know those in order. It's a great thing to know in order. Duodenum's our first section because this is a long tube that's kind of wrapped around itself. So you have the duodenum, and then you have the jejunum, or excuse me, then you have the ileum, and then you have the jejunum. That's your pattern of flow. Okay, our next one at the bottom, we have our large intestines. So you have the ascending colon, which is right here. It's the section that goes up. Then food goes through here. That is the transverse colon going all through this section. And then over here we have the descending colon. Ascending for up, descending for down, transverse for across. So these are pretty large features, and then within them they have smaller features. One smaller feature that goes along the whole length is, if you look, there is a, see this textured region going here, or across here. It's this tendon. That's the tennae coli, which goes the whole length. It's a connective tissue that wraps along the large intestines. Other things you have is you have the left colic flexure, which is going to be from the descending colon. So basically this point, so you see it goes across and then it has to kind of flex right here, turn. That is the left colic flexure. This side would be the right colic flexure. And then one noticeable feature about the intestines is they're made up of these little sections. Do you see how each of these is its own section? Each section is called a haustra. All right. Next up is the liver. This is the liver. From this line over, that is the right lobe. Pretty large lobe. The smaller one here is the left lobe. So, left lobe, right lobe. And then to orient it again, turned it this way so it looks like your image packet. But you have the coronary ligament, which goes down here. It's like a crown, coronary. So the ligament along the top is the coronary ligament. The one that goes down is the falciform ligament. It's the falciform ligament. And if we flip to this side, we have our portal vein right here. We also have the quadrate lobe down here. So this section, see how we have kind of a tipped over square. It's quadrate. Spelled Quadrate. And up here is the caudate, Caudate. So caudate with a C up here, quad as in four, quadrate lobe down here. Then you'll see this kind of gross greenish color. That is the gallbladder. All right, next up, we have the kidneys. So you have the renal artery and the renal vein. These are the artery, red, and vein, blue, that feed the kidneys. You then have the renal pelvis, which we can see on this side. Let me find it. So I'm looking at a different model, unfortunately. But the renal pelvis would be coming out right here. Looking on the inside now over here, we have three main features. We have the renal pyramids, which are these triangular pink sections. Those are all renal pyramids. The renal pyramids then go and they go to a minor calyx. So each renal pyramid, then goes to its own little section, this little tube coming off of each one. That's the minor calyx. Now when multiple minor calyx come together, they become the major calyx. So you see, for example, through here, much larger, where multiple, 2 or 3 have come together. And then you have the ureters on the back. So these tubes hanging off the back, those are the ureters. All right, that's it. Thank you. If you have any questions, contact myself, Anna, or Scarlett.